Hello and welcome to Issues of the Moment. The field of genome editing science has rapidly evolved, offering immense potential for advancing agriculture, healthcare, and environmental sustainability. However, these advancements come with significant responsibilities, especially in ensuring that the use of such powerful technologies is safe, ethical, and in compliance with the laws of our nation. As Nigeria progresses in her commitment to get involved, just as other nations, to adopt this genome editing science, mainly to achieve food security and healthcare amid other benefits, the African Union Development Agency, AUDA-NEPAD, is not also relenting in its commitment to build capacity and engage stakeholders who play a critical role in shaping the future of biotechnology in the country. This move is geared towards empowering policymakers and regulators with the necessary knowledge and skills to collectively ensure that genome editing technologies are used safely and ethically for the benefit of Nigerians. Genome editing science in Nigeria, how involved are policymakers and regulators, will be our focus today on the program Issues of the Moment. My name is Justin Bemunyi. My guest to talk on these issues will soon be with you after this short break. Welcome to the program. Once again, thank you so much for joining us on the program Issues of the Moment. Today, our focus is on genome editing science in Nigeria, policymakers and regulators. And my guest is Professor Olalekan Akinbo. He is from the Directorate of Agriculture, Food Systems and Environmental Sustainability, AUDA-NEPAD. Professor, thank you so much once again for coming to our studios to throw more light on this area of science.
Thank you so much, Ben, for having me.
Thank you. You're welcome. Genome editing science in Nigeria. First of all, what is this area of science all about? What exactly is genome editing?
Thank you. I think that's a pertinent question that needed to be answered in a layman language, and also linking it up with Nigeria. Genome editing is a science that is using information from the genetic component of an organism, the plant or animal, but to improve the deficiency that that organism is having without introducing external information, but using the information within the genome of the plant or animal or insect to improve on the capability for itself to be enhanced. Now, speaking about Nigeria, globally, Nigeria is phenomenal in science and well respected. And research in regard to genome editing, there are scientists in Nigeria that have made strides and they are working on this technology within the country and outside the country. But let's focus on Nigeria, not to putting some parastatal into spotlight. However, we have 3 institutions, including university, that is doing the practical aspect of genome editing in crops that of interest to Nigeria, crop like cassava, crop like cowpea, crop like tomato, just to mention but few. And that is in the continent, in Nigeria, to be specific. There are scientists working on the technology and also specifying of focusing on the crop of interest for Nigerians.
Now, before genome editing, before we are now hearing about genome editing, we've heard about GMOs before. Now, which, you know, GMO back in the days, we had, it was surrounded by some controversial concerns. Now you are here as an expert, as a biotechnology expert. Can you draw the lines for us? Give us the difference between GMOs and this technology now, which is the genome editing science. What is the difference?
Thank you so much. I think let me start with the word of technophobianism. The problem with new technology is the technophobia, the fear of the unknown. That's the first thing. It's very important for us to be able to draw the line. Now, when you're talking about GMO is the introduction, it's still using the same baseline of DNA, of gene, to improve on a particular interest, either in the plant, on the animal, or any other thing. But the difference between GMO and genome editing is that they use external insertion of a DNA to improve on a particular trait. Whereas for genome editing, there's no foreign DNA insertion. It is using the information within the genome of that particular crop of interest to improve its capability of what you want to for it to be resilient or for it to improve yield. But that component of the genome is what you use, not from the outside, but from the inside of the crop.
Now, in a layman's language, I want you to bring it out. Let's say the ordinary Nigerian there who is not a scientist, who is not a biotechnician or biotechnologist, the farmer out there. Give us a very plain example, you know, maybe using a particular crop or a particular organism. How is this application or the adoption of this genome editing? Give us a plain example using any kind of crop. How is genome editing applicable?
This is the simple way. The way it's applicable is it helps to improve the productivity of a crop that is deficient in sustaining itself. Practical example, as I've mentioned, cowpea.
Okay.
Cowpea, the most problem that cowpea is having is the weevil. The weevil attacks cowpea, and the scientists, they have tried to do everything to stop that. They have not been able to do it. But the use of the technology, they can use the weakness in cowpea that does not allow it to be able to stand strong against weevil. When you use genome editing, the crop itself can withstand the way in which the weevils can affect it, which at the end of the day, we keep the cowpea to be healthy, keep the cowpea to store for a longer period, to keep the cowpea to attract more, what do you call it now? You can save it, you can store it. And when it is stored, if it is weevil free, then you are sure that when you want to sell it in the market, you get more money for it.
Now, can you tell us, apart from this, where are we headed to as a country or as a people when it comes to the benefits inherent in adopting this technology? What are we looking out for?
Thank you. I think the starting point is to commend the government. Nigerian government have done well. How? They have established institutions that could, one, set the policy, two, do a monitoring. That is called regulation. And the first institution that have been mandated to do this is National Biotechnology Research and Development Agency. They are to set the policy and research. And the other arm of the government, the parastatal, is National Biosafety Management Agency to regulate. In regulation, you confirm whether this technology is safe, whether this technology should be accepted. When that has been passed, and there are pathway for them to come to that decision, and that pathway is if there is external insertion like a GMO, it should be regulated. If there is none, then it should not be regulated. Now, where are we as a country? One, government has created an enabling environment for the technology to strive. And we can't take it away from Nigeria. Nigeria has set a high standard on the continent in the adoption of biotechnology. And you know, biotechnology is what is controversial. But because government has put in place regulation, government has put in place institutions that can be like a watchdog. And that is the first thing that Nigeria has done. Now, looking at the flip side of how the technology can benefit, if I get it right.
Yes.
You see, in talking of benefit is what is in need for me to make me better. And what is in need for Nigeria to make Nigeria better is Nigeria is an agrarian country. Prior to oil boom, all that we depend on is crop to expand, to export, to send out. Now, oil boom came. People are not farming again. Since we are agrarian continent, we are agrarian country, this benefit can enhance our productivity. That when you plant your crop, you get more yield. You feed yourself, will not go hungry, then you can sell to meet your domestic need. And you can also do intracontinental trade, not from outside. For instance, we Nigerians, anywhere we go with our gari, anywhere. We go with our beans, anywhere. We can, if we have a good product from this technology, that's a form of trade. And as you know, the level, the quantity of cowpea that Nigeria consume, that we produce, is not sufficient for what we needed. We still take from Niger, from other neighboring countries. But with the technology, we can produce sufficient for ourselves, and we can also sell to that country.
Now, talking about concerns, our policymakers, legislators, and regulators, as well as other stakeholders, who play a critical role in shaping the future of, biotechnology in the country. What is their level of involvement in this technology adoption and, of course, application? At what level are they involved in this process?
First thing, knowledge, information. For this point, because it's at the early stage, what is important is for the three arms, the innovation, the policy, and other stakeholders, other players to come together for information sharing, for them to know what are we, where are we, who is doing what is the part of the government, the role of the government, what the role of the industry, what the role of research institute, then who is harmonizing all these things together. And that is important, because when you mix it up, then you play a blame game. Oh, government should do this. Oh no, research institutes are not doing this. Oh, farmers are not getting it. No, it should be an ecosystem that is organic. That government set policy, scientists they do their research, then industry they bring in to support a institution for them to be able to produce certified seed. Let me give you an example. I've said something in a meeting today that people are mixing grain with seed. When you produce grain is for food, seed is for planting. To get seed is the role of seed council. To get the technology is the role of research. So research brings seed to the seed council multiply to get to the farmer. But for this process to go through, there's a need for policy. So that's the role of government, to set the right policy. And already policy creates an enabling environment for science to thrive. So when you put these puzzles together, you discover that if you don't play according to the rule of the game, regulators are there to put check. They speak for the government because they are government institutions, and government institutions don't fight themselves. If NBMA say it is safe, by constitution, they have the mandate to go through it. If it is not safe, NAFDAC should not be able to say we have a product. that product will not get to seed cancer. So there should be an organic co-evolution with the technology and with the institution that government has established to oversee the technology.
We're still on concerns here. You know, some stakeholders are raising safety concerns, you know, when adopting this technology, as well as regulations. Talking about health impact, environmental impact, biodiversity interference. What do you have to tell Nigerians, you know, about Africa and Nigeria owning this technology, or let's say domesticating this technology amidst these concerns, these safety concerns?
You say, this is why I went the first round for the question of safety on the institution, is to establish the pathway with the government role. When government says it's safe, government should have done the due diligence to use their scientists to get it done. That's why I went to the route of the government role and the institution that they have been established. When you're talking of the concern with other constituency, the most important thing is science is something that is repeatable. Science is when you agree to international treaty, it is your role to domesticate until you're able to verify within your country, your scientists doing them. Because you are signed to the international treaty, you're supposed to abide. Because it's a system, a country that is not working in a silo. You see the point? So when the safety concerns are coming, the question is it based on science? Is it based on technophobia? Is it based on the untested information that is not government based, is not institutional based, is not research based? So when it's because there's so many information, it's a marketplace. It's the information you are looking for that you get. So for me, speaking from the science space, any technology that leaves the space of the research that the regulatory body have certified, they've gone through each stages for it to get to the production of can I say of certified seed. When it is safe, when the declare is safe, it is safe. We need to believe the government that put those institutions there as their representative. Then when you now want to diffuse the technophobia challenge, it's a ball game. Who is speaking to who? What is the source? Where is the information coming from? I'm telling you, if the information, there's so many information now in the marketplace of knowledge that is contradictory, but they're not science-based. We just published a paper now, Akinbo et al. 2024 in Frontier, just this July. You can check it out. There's a separation between GMO, between genome editing, between safety concern, the benefit, and I will just make one point, or maybe 2 points in the benefits. One, the health benefit. You see, this day we accumulate a lot of chemical in our body. Why? Because the example of cowpea I've mentioned to you. Before you can get a good yield from cowpea, you spray over and over, and there's a residual settlement of those chemicals on cowpea. When you want to save it to stay for a longer time so that the weevil will not invest it, you also put chemicals. So if you don't wash it thoroughly, it comes back to your body. You eat it, and that's a problem. Now, when you now bring it back to genome editing now as a benefit, you see, because you are not introducing the chemical, you have improved it within the body, within the system of the crop. Now, the health-wise, you are not at risk of any of these challenges. That if you don't wash properly, if you don't dry properly, you get it. That's number one. Number two, biodiversity. This technology helps biodiversity in a longer way. How? If you don't spray, if you spray randomly, you kill every insect around that crop. When you kill the insect, you also affect the ecosystem. Those insects feed on another insect. other insect feed on another insect, the worm is affected. When you kill the insect will be fed on another insect. That will be transferred to that insect. When the worm want to eat on them, that thing, because you use the chemical, it's like you use a poison to kill the rat. Anybody that eat that rat will also be killed. So it's a continuous side effect which has affected the ecosystem. But that, without using that chemical, you are helping the biodiversity to keep the system working, because they feed on themselves, they will come again. So the benefit, I just picked two. I've not gone to the yield, I've not gone to the safety, I just went only to two on your health. The other thing that you see about the benefit of the technology is, you see, we're in the generation, the millennial generation, they don't work hard, they work smart. They want result, not long time. So for you to get that result for them, then you use technology that enhance their ability to achieve result with the minimum effort.
Before I let you go, Prof, this question is very crucial. Should Nigeria and other African countries be worried about some other handful of countries? You know, there are reports that some other maybe in some European countries maybe shying away or rejecting these new technologies. What should be the position of Nigeria and Africa in this regard?
Thank you. First, I want to tell you that Nigeria should be Nigeria. Nigeria is a sovereign country. Nigerians should trust their government. Nigerians should go with international treaty that they are signed. Now, coming to the issue of worry, other thing that I need to worry, I want to tell you that Nigeria is a role model as of today for the technology adoption. And Nigeria is an example for other countries that does not have the resources that Nigeria have. Nigeria have committed a lot of resources. If I can just tell you in case of human resources, for National Biosafety Management Agency, their staff strength is more than 250 as staff. In other countries, you have just 2 or 3 staffs. That's human capacity. That's human capital. That's one. So when you're talking of the fear, when you're talking of the worry, Nigeria as a sovereign nation, working with Agenda 2063, the African we want, and looking at the aspiration that they say there will be zero hunger by the year 2063, Nigeria should tread the path of technology that enhance agriculture productivity. Because if you can get it done, other countries depend on Nigeria. Directly or indirectly, there are many countries that if Nigeria get it right, Nigeria is a trailblazer. So for me, speaking from my experience, from traveling all over Africa for work, and speaking about Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, Nigeria to take the pace, the leadership. We say giant of Africa, and Nigeria has proven that. So let it maintain. Let them be a trailblazer, not going backward, but forging ahead and looking at the capacity component, looking at the research institute. Let government mainstream science, technology, and innovation. Let government invest into it. If you don't want it from outside, then let Nigeria invest in their research institute. Let Nigeria invest in the capacity. Let Nigeria in the diaspora. Let them come back home. Let them support the effort of the government. So at the end of the day, the Nigeria, not the Africa we want, the Nigeria we want, the Nigeria that drives Africa, that is the Nigeria we must advocate for.
Well, Professor Olalekan Akinbo, thank you so much once again for your time with us. Out of your very tight schedule, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
This is Issues of the Moment. Genome editing science in Nigeria, policymakers and regulators has been our focus today, and my guest has been Professor Olalekan Akinbo from the Directorate of Agriculture, Food Systems and Environmental Sustainability of the African Union Development Agency, AUDA-NEPAD. And this is where the program ends, and we thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Justin Bemuyan. We say bye for now.